Dane County's leading victim advocates are openly criticizing a Dane County judge tonight for comments that she's made towards sexual assault and domestic violence victims.
And they're worried Judge Ellen Burrs' words will keep victims from asking for help in the future. They're sharing their concerns exclusively tonight with News 3 investigative reporter Adam Schrager.
We are unified around one issue, and that is protecting victim rights.
For decades, these Dane County advocates have encouraged victims of sexual assault and domestic violence to share their stories and ask for help. Now, it's their turn.
Our state constitution says that victims of crime are to be treated with respect and dignity. And we wouldn't be here today if that was the treatment that crime victims were getting in Judge Burrs' courtroom.
Ellen Burrs runs Branch 11 in the Dane County Courthouse.
Thank you. Please be seated.
And the nonprofit leaders say it's behind the bench that Judge Burrs regularly causes emotional damage. For example, she recently jailed a juvenile sexual assault victim who refused to testify against her perpetrator.
That is unconscionable.
And sends an unintended message to everyone else in the community who's dealing with these really challenging issues that they shouldn't come forward.
Last spring, Judge Burrs refused to issue a restraining order to a woman whose partner had been convicted of punching her in the face in the past because, in part, she stayed in the relationship for years. And the judge said, and yet you stay with him year after 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 year.
That brings me to tears. I'm sorry. It is never the victim's fault when they are being traumatized by any sort of physical violence or threat of physical violence. And that statement that you just read just tears me apart because it just undermines the last 20 years of my life and the work that I've been trying to do.
Judge Burrs said both the woman and her partner weren't credible. And even though the man admitted threatening her with a knife when she called the police, the solution to the case, the judge said, was that they should, quote, stay away from each other.
I mean, I think with these lectures that she gives victims, I kind of want to ask, who does she think she is?
For example, at a sentencing for a man convicted of second-degree sexual assault, Judge Burrs lamented the criminal justice system by saying, quote, it's a gamble whether to put you in prison. If I do, I have no doubt that you'll come out as a criminal. The victim left the courtroom in tears.
I think the other implicit message in that statement is that domestic violence or sexual assault in that case are not real crimes. And that is an issue, a mentality that our organizations have been working against for the last 30 and 40 years.
Another woman last year asked for a restraining order after her husband threatened to crash their car and kill them both. Judge Burrs ruled she was, quote, not an individual at risk.
A woman in 2015 died that way. She was in the vehicle with her ex-boyfriend, and he drove the car out of control on I-94 driving to Milwaukee. These are very, very serious situations.
Have you ever publicly criticized a sitting judge?
No, I have not.
Jennifer?
No.
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 The advocates say Judge Burrs is aware of their concerns and has turned down victim-related training opportunities. For example, News 3 looked at records from one training held at the courthouse for judges and sheriff staff, and Judge Burrs, unlike 10 other judges, didn't attend.
This is not one incident or two incidents. This is a pattern of incidents, and there have been multiple opportunities to change, to become better educated about these issues.
Judge Burrs campaigned for her position by promising to respect everyone who appeared in her courtroom.
She said that publicly. I mean, she's clearly demonstrated that she is not by anyone's standards.
Yeah, that's a broken campaign promise.
They're hoping by coming forward that crime victims will understand their groups still care, still want to help, and that this interview will bring them justice, even in Judge Burrs' courtroom.
Because ultimately, I mean, this is about victim safety. I mean, that is why we're coming forward,
Yes.
because that is what is at stake.
And Judge Burrs says in a statement to News 3 that she is always open to a discussion about how cases are handled in her courtroom and how the legal process affects the lives of people involved. She says none of the advocates have reached to her directly, and she's tried to set up a meeting with them this week, but none have committed to that. News 3 has learned a meeting between the judge and the victim advocates could instead take place next week. Again, Adam Schrager reporting tonight.